Yeah, I'm a food writer in New Orleans. To say those words together is possibly to say that we have the best job on planet Earth. I've worked really hard to achieve this shape, and it's not from sipping broth and eating lettuce, except on a pogo. I'm a food writer here. I'm the food editor for New Orleans Magazine. I write for a bunch of local publications, and I have a radio show, as Christine mentioned, called All Over Food on Saturdays from 11 to 1. I also do local television on food and dining, and I've lived here almost 30 years. No accent because I'm from Chicago. So even though I've lived here a long time, it hasn't left. It's still the same accent. And places like Jazzy's live very fondly in every New Orleanian's heart in terms of daily dining, whether it's about the Leidenheimer's po' boy bread, whether it's about a messy roast beef po' boy with the juices dripping down your elbow, and we eat lots and lots of mayonnaise, which is how we say mayonnaise here, mayonnaise. You have a lot of mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is how I would say it, but I know mayonnaise. And fresh Creole tomatoes. We're not too far away from people who grow beautiful Creole tomatoes in St. Bernard. And in this area as well, a Creole tomato is basically a tomato grown in Louisiana. Alluvial soil, water, and air. It's the terroir. It makes our tomatoes, in my opinion, taste better than any in the world. The restaurant scene here is so dynamic. At this moment, there are more than 770 restaurants that have reopened since Katrina, and that's a little bit, it's about, I mean, my goodness, we were just around 1,000 right before the storm, and a good portion of those are brand new, like post-Katrina openings of restaurants, and one of those is Cochon, that was just named, nominated for a James Beard Award, right, for Best New Restaurant in the United States. Unbelievable. I mean, does it get any bigger than that?
They're gonna win.
Well, let's go like this, okay? I mean, we could cross our fingers. It's a tough group that they're in, don't you think? I think so. Yeah. But I know you went last night to Cochon. Yeah, Donald Link and Steven Strajewski, who are honoring Donald's heritage, Cajun country food, giving it a really interesting and modern twist to it, but still sort of hanging on to that real original architecture of Cajun food. It isn't like they're just creating some bizarre boudin. It's boudin made from right there in-house, fresh hogs. I went in and butchered a whole hog with them, so I could have the experience of butchering a hog. These guys are amazing. If you ever wanted to do that, if you've never done it before and it intrigues you in any way, Steve and Donald will definitely hook you up to do that. If that grosses you out, I'm really sorry. But it's amazing. Make their own hog's head cheese. We have food traditions. I think that it's an imperative to talk about, whether it's po' boys or whether it's hog's head cheese, or whether you're talking about dough glacé, or you're talking about all. I mean, you can go on and on. Étouffée. It's just somewhat endless. And those are the things that people travel here to eat. And what's happening is that you have this interesting sort of that the traditional foods will never die. I mean, there were naysayers nationwide who thought the food would die, but it won't because of the integrity and because we love it so much that it can't die. What else are we going to eat? Tofu? I mean, we're not going to eat tofu. I can tell you, not really. For the role of the media here in New Orleans is to make sure that not just people like you know what's going on in the restaurant industry, whether it's things that haven't opened or things that have opened, but it's important that we get that word out to the local population as well. People don't know locally what's happening right in their own backyard, right here in the 9th Ward. And that is what our role is at local media, is to get the word out locally, which then spreads its fingers and its arms and has this ripple effect, and it turns on nationally. What I think is so important is, as much as you can, go to as many places as humanly possible. I know everyone gets a little list and there's really some key restaurants on there. Well, pick one or two, and then throw the list in the bin and just go for it, because there is no way to go wrong. Just in St. Bernard for St. Joseph's Day, did altars Were there any Creole altars this year in this area? Did anybody open their house?
Not that I know. I wasn't familiar with it.
If you're not familiar with St. Joseph's Day, really quick, of course, St. Joseph, patron saint of famine and hunger and feeding the poor and taking care, and that's a very powerful tradition here. And for the Italians and for the Creoles who celebrate it similarly, but a little bit differently at the same time. Major churches open their door, build gorgeous altars with very specific foods on it, all Lenten, no meat clearly, and specifically pasta milanese with, anchovies and the capers, and using the breadcrumbs in lieu of Parmesan cheese as the sawdust to represent St. Joseph the carpenter, the worker, and so on. The food is amazing. The altars are glorious, and the experience cannot be replaced. I'm a nice Jewish girl. I tried to make a novena. I hit the wall at 7, and then I couldn't do anymore. But it was unbelievable what private homes where they weren't even completely rebuilt in St. Bernard and Araby were sitting in their living room, drywall had just gone up, and these people are serving food to us. Incredible stuff. Try Creole Italian food while you are here and notice the difference. It is vastly different. If you are looking for that New York Italian experience, not going to happen. You'll taste bell pepper, you'll taste a lot of sugar. It's a different experience, so make sure you try to get that going on, and know that almost everything you eat that's from New Orleans has some cultural and some religious tradition to it, and it's so powerful, and all I can tell you is enjoy. And thank you so much for being here. It's really an honor for you to be here with us. Really proud.